200 from the northwest. I'm not quite sure where she's come from, but one set of fans, of course, will be travelling back home at the end of the game as League Cup winners and taking that trophy there, back to their home grounds. There is, of course, always something very special about a Wembley occasion, and we had quite a story today. Sunderland in the bottom three of the Premier League against Manchester City, who up till recently were looking to make a clean sweep of honours. Your commentators for the game are Gary Neville and Martin Tyler.
Good afternoon, everyone. The staging of the build-up's been great. Let's hope the game is just as good. Manuel Pellegrini gives Castel Pantilimon a place in a final which Roberto Mancini controversially denied the Romanian in the FA Cup last May. But Julian Lescott, who's played every minute of City's League Cup campaign, is stood down today for Martin Di Michelis. A formidable foursome in midfield with Sami Nasri, recently returned to full fitness. And so too, Hope City is Sergio Aguero. Edin Dzeko, who has scored in every round, is referred to Alvaro Negredo. As for Sunderland, they have a birthday boy in goal, Vito Manoni, 26 today. Wes Brown back from suspension, so it's a back four with three ex-Manchester United defenders aiming to shut out Manchester City. Lee Cattermole almost left for Stoke after this season's semis, but is still needed by Sunderland today. And in comes Seb Larsson, who won this cup with Birmingham 3 years ago. Adam Johnson against the club he left 18 months ago. Ki Sung-young, another previous League Cup winner as recently as last season. And Fabio Borini's needed up front, with Stephen Fletcher not fully fit and Josie Altidore out of form. Fletcher is named amongst the Sunderland substitutes. Manchester City leave out their two England squad members, Joe Hart and James Milner. So at least with Gary Neville alongside me, they should be fresh for Wembley on Wednesday. But it's about Wembley today, Gary, and a key, maybe in more ways than one, in Sunderland's midfield.
Yeah, we see the two managers there. Gus Poyet earlier on in the season played with Key in front of his back four. We've lined him up off the front today, and it'll be interesting to see whether he does play there. I have my reservations whether he'll play in such an advanced role. I think he will play more towards Cattermole and Larsson and beef up that midfield.
And he's back after 5 games in which City have rather stuttered.
They need him so much, Manchester City. They've got a massive 2 months in front of them. They've got the Champions League game against Barcelona. They've got the Premier League, and he is the best. And it's a risk today playing him at Wembley, coming back from a hamstring injury, and they'll be desperate for him to get through this match.
Well, you know, it's a City day when the supporters are facing away for just a moment. They'll get that done with. I think they'll want to watch every moment of this. He certainly will, Manuel Pellegrini. Gus Poyet has rebuilt Sunderland in the last 6 months or so. From a start that was sad and sorrowful and unfortunate for Paolo Di Canio, who was, I guess, rightly deemed responsible for it. But if they win today, in Gus Poyet's own words, they will be the happiest club in England. The odds are against them, but they were back in 1973, and those heroes have been on display. But it's about 2014 and the 54th League Cup final, the 7th here at the new Wembley. Off we go. And Zabaleta, a happy time in the FA Cup final, as Manchester City did collectively. It's strange that they face the team that beat them here in May, Wigan, in the quarter-finals of this season, the FA Cup, as recently as next Sunday. Yaya Toure. Kolarov preferred to Clichy at left back.
It's Cattermole for Sunderland, who's dropped into that deep line midfield roles instead of Key. Key and Larsson are operating in front of him.
Well, Manchester City out today to avoid the experience of Arsenal 3 years ago when, like City, they were trying to win a quadruple. We're also, like City here, overwhelming favourites for the League Cup against their Premier League struggler and relegation-bound Birmingham City. But Arsenal lost that day at Wembley, and their season then disintegrated on all 4 fronts. You really can't see that happening to a squad as talented as Pellegrini's, although the Champions League might be a step too far for them after that home defeat to Barcelona. Phil Bardsley's been immense in Sunderland's progress to this day. And of course, he didn't feature at all under Di Canio. Here is Key, but the whistle's gone, and it's Sunderland's free kick.
Well, as mentioned in the studio, I think for Sunderland it's just getting through this first 15-20 minutes, playing the way into the game. They'll be happy if nothing happens.
Brown and O'Shea have done so much together. And recently, of course, in the red and white stripes. Before that, in the Manchester United red shirts, winning this competition a couple of times each. David Silva. Martin Atkins had a good look at the challenge and didn't see anything wrong.
I thought it was back in 1973 then. You don't normally get away with a tackle that ferocious, particularly when you follow through.
Johnson. Manoeuvred by Kolarov, touch from David Silva, none the worse for receiving that challenge. Company. What we've got here really is a top-of-the-range model against a vehicle of more modest horsepower. Kolarov. Can't quite keep it in.
Kolarov, he's got the one-on-one battle against Johnson. Let's see this Phil Bardsley tackle again. It's a proper tackle. He's took the lot.
There's a chance for a first sign of a breakout from Sunderland. Barini. Keeping away from Di Michelis. Johnson. And the flag has gone up. A long time before the ball ended up in the net.
Yeah, he did really well, that Manchester City back line. It's company in the middle. Just push up as he cuts inside. See them there, just move up together. Good organisation.
Maybe Johnson's wondering if he just kept going. It's one way to beat a back line like that. A bit of a handoff into the face of Aguero. He's not made anything of it, to his credit. Barini trying to head it on.
We saw there straight away though why Barini's playing. Those runs in behind Di Michelis. I'm sure he'll focus on his side.
It's Kolarov to go forward for City again. Aguero. He's still going, and it's turned away by Manone. Retrieved by Dzeko. Kolarov. Struggling to get out, Sunderland, at the moment.
He's small, Aguero, but he's so strong. First sign of his brilliance.
Toure. Tamol taking it away from David Silva, but Manchester City come again with Nasri and Silva. Zabaleta. There's Aguero. Lovely touch to him by Silva. Sunderland digging in, defending narrow. Plenty of players behind the ball, knowing that an onslaught could easily come their way. They must withstand it if they're going to have any chance of making history for the Wearside club.
Well, that Sunderland midfield five will be under no illusions about how difficult this day is going to be from a running point of view.
He could be in here, he's all alone, he's gone! Sensation at Wembley from Sunderland and Fabio Barini. They've hardly got out of their own half, but they've taken the lead against the favourites Manchester City. What a goal!
Well, it's sensational for Sunderland. Marini chosen. We talked about the speed in behind Demichelis. He just puts it into an area, Seb Larsson. They're so high. Goes out to the side. He runs in behind Demichelis. It's Vincent Kompany who gets wrong side. But once he gets into this area, has he got the composure and the quality? You bet he has. He can't run the Manchester City full centre-back. He's the outside of the right foot. It's a sensational start for Sunderland. And they've got something to hang on to now.
Well, it's a dagger into the heart of Manchester City. Gus Poyet, who could become the Bob Stoker of the 21st century. No offside. Colback. Fernandinho trying to curb him. Retrieved by Johnson for Sunderland. By Zabaleta. He gets there before Dzeko. Well, he said earlier, old-fashioned stuff, and a bit more of it then. But Aguero gets away from Marcus Alonso. Wes Brown backpedaling. Nasri just couldn't strike it with sufficient power to trouble Manone.
It's Aguero, the danger again. I don't think City will be too unhappy if Sunderland start throwing themselves out of the position, out of their structure. Because when they do that, there are gaps. And Nasri finds one. It's a difficult one for him to control. Just can't get the shot away, really. No power on it.
Moving in to try and score, as he did score, of course, against Chelsea recently in the FA Cup. And he has scored at Wembley in the last 12 months. Also against Chelsea in the semi-final of the FA Cup last season. A big game coming up for you next weekend. Chelsea, the league leaders, against Tottenham, trying to stay in touch with the top four from 5 Sky Sports 1 and also available on 3D. Touch on by Silva. Gary, you've been in back fours with O'Shea and Brown, and you know, are they very well set to deal with a situation like this?
Well, they've got the experience and the know-how. They're intelligent defenders. They know their positions.
Another Sunderland free kick.
What they'll have to be careful of, obviously, is Aguero. If he gets them one-on-one in the box, then they're in trouble, but that's the same for any defender in world football. Just need that protection in that situation.
I guess we'll only find as the afternoon wears on how much of a gamble it is by Manchester City to play Aguero.
He's looked sharp, I have to say, in this first half hour. The 2 or 3 times he's got the ball.
Well, he failed to score in 3 of the 5 games he missed. When we say Manchester City have failed to score, that's a big story. Johnson. Oh, Kompany sorted his legs out in the end. Fernandinho sorted the situation out. But it could easily have been 2-0.
Well, it's down that side again. Kolarov and Demichelis. Adam Johnson actually tried to do this a few moments ago. Take Kolarov down the line. No problem with Demichelis this time. He's scrambling in the end. Fernandinho clears it. Confidence is rising for Sunderland. It might sound like a daft thing to say, but you don't want them to get too confident.
Ooh, and that was past that, carried a hint of risk from Key. O'Shea. And this what can happen. They've got 2 against 2 now. Aguero's got Dzeko with him. Sunderland getting other players back. Aguero trying a bit too much. He's capable of plenty, of course, as an individual. But we know about Manchester City as individuals. At the moment, the team ethic is coming from Sunderland. Oh, he looked offside. But Perini's in again. Oh, it's a wonderful tackle by Company, and they're furious, Manchester City, that the flag didn't go up. Gary Neville.
Oh, he was offside. I don't think the linesman saw the actual touch. Just a touch there. Oh, he's just offside. Michaelis doesn't fancy running back again. I have to say, Company does. It's a wonderful challenge. That would have been big trouble. He opened himself up to try and hit it with the inside of his right foot, Perini. He just gets back, Vincent Kompany. You might look back at that moment, though, Sunderland fans.
Well, they've still got a corner. Larson will take. All sorts of bumping and boring going on. And Di Michaelis angry with Bardsley, who can be a bit provocative, but Di Michaelis is no shrinking violet. Bardsley has been spoken to. He scored twice in this League Cup run. He forced the own goal, went down to Ryan Giggs in the semi-final first leg. And he got the winner against Manchester City in the Premier League in November. Another corner from Larson. Pantilimon's done well. A really good clearing punch.
No nonsense. Didn't want to take the risk. He's by his manager.
He must be thrilled, Gus Poyet. The only problem is there's still 6 minutes to go in the first half. He'd be worrying if it was 6 minutes to go in the match. But they've followed instructions to the letter.
It's been a really good performance. City have been well below par.
Over Dzeko, then over Aguero.
I haven't seen anything of him, Dzeko. No real urgency from him at all.
6 goals he scored in his 4 appearances in this competition this season. Didn't feature in the semi-final second leg. Ooh. Well, I don't know whether Martin Atkinson was given a foul, whether he thought also for a moment that the flag was going to go up. Colback was in a promising position had he let play go on the referee.
He's just signalling that he's swept his legs.
Here's Kolarov. Corner. That was how Manchester City started. Kolarov running beyond Adam Johnson, threatening down that side of the pitch before Sunderland on that same far side found a way through the opposition that are going for the league title, the FA Cup, but Sunderland are also in themselves, of course, and still with a shout in the Champions League. They're not allowed shout. Bumping and boring in here. Martin Atkinson sees nothing wrong. Point for the goal kick.
Company wins the first ball. I think it's Alonso who ends up with Di Michaelis. Thought he might just have pulled him to the ground a little bit. There's a little bit of his arms around him. Just falls though, I think, Di Michaelis too easily. Tries a little bicycle kick.
Plenty of non-loving hugs. Zabaleta. Di Michaelis. Fernandinho. David Silva. And Fernandinho's still there. It's a tumble to the ground, no more than that. Really should be officially half-time. Quick summary from you, Gary.
Well, Gus Poyet will be absolutely delighted. Pellegrini won't be happy. I would imagine that he'll be sort of laying down the law to a few of these players at half-time, saying, you know, I'll be making substitutions. Not had enough out of his quality. I would say Dzeko in particular looks mobile up front.
Well, it's an Italian influence. Perini with the goal. Very shortly after, Manone with a significant save from the returning Sergio Aguero. And it stayed that way for most of the first half. Sunderland fans almost looking on in disbelief. But at the break, at Wembley, in the Capital One Cup final, it is Manchester City 0, Sunderland 1.